Hi everyone, welcome to Monday's strength training. We're going to be doing core and chest work. It'll actually be your MANION recovery because I know our legs are very sore. The first grouping of exercises is going to be 4 different ab exercises. It's Tabata style, so it's going to be 4 different stations, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, all right? You can put like a minute rest in between those 4 stations, that's fine, but you're not resting a long time. And Tabata is work to rest ratio. So it's going to be 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, constantly for the 4 minutes, right? So first exercise, 4 minutes worth of 20 on, 10 off. Second exercise, same thing, 4 minutes worth of 20 on and 10 off, so on and so on, okay? So now let's go over the movements. First one is going to be shoulder taps in planks, all right? My core is super tight. So the goal is to not sway or swivel, right? You can have a wider base with your legs that will help keep you steady, or you can go more here, right, on the knees, changing the length, and that's going to make it easier for you. Like I said, the goal is to not wiggle left to right at all. You should be able to hold a glass of water on your back. That's how still you are, okay? The closer my feet are together, the harder the movement becomes. But it's none of this. All right, so a tip is you can record yourself to see if you are moving, okay? But save it for the end because you got to do some abs. All right, our second Tabata exercise is going to be kneeling around the world. So you're going to need a kettlebell, something light to moderate, definitely lighter than what you swing, especially if you're practicing it. Focusing on keeping my core tight. All right, you can go 20 seconds in one direction if you'd like, 20 seconds in the other, or if you want to go 2 minutes straight on one side, 2 on the other, that's fine as well. How you're standing, or kneeling, I guess I'd say, right? You're making sure that you're not in this arched position, just moving the kettlebell around, right? You're focusing on finding your neutral, all right, tightening up your core. Some of you might have a bigger arch than others, but you're going to find a middle, lock that in as you're moving around with the kettlebell. And this is going to be, moving for those 20 seconds of work and then resting for 10 seconds. Third exercise, you're going to go single leg Copenhagen, whatever leg you want to do first, doesn't matter. So the most difficult position is going to be, right, I'm as long as I can be, so the least amount of support through here, the better, or that's going to make it the most difficult. Arm is under the shoulder, right? I'm going to elevate, and my leg is going to be up through here, holding, okay? Now, there's not a lot of people who can do that, or it might be really uncomfortable, or you will most likely feel like a pop in through here on the leg that's up. You're okay. It's a cartilage pop, especially if you're not used to doing this exercise. It'll happen more often. You might be sore in there the next few days, but you did not hurt anything or tear something. So you'll be okay with that. But if you feel that, that's what's happening. That is really difficult to maintain, okay? So how can we make it a little bit scale, a little bit easier, okay? I can get closer. Actually, if I stay here, I can keep one leg down. That makes it significantly easier, all right? I can keep a knee down like this as well. I can get closer and create the same thing because I'm elevating through here or keeping the leg down. All those options are ways to scale it. But you're trying to be as tall as possible, not, oh, my leg is straight, but I'm bent, I can barely hold it, I'm hunching over, I'm turning to the side, and I look like this because I'm holding on for dear life. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Like I said, it's supposed to look effortless, opening up every joint, holding that in place, being straight from head to toe. Okay, so same thing, 20 on, 10 off, 4 minutes worth, roll over to this side, be performing the same things, okay? Nice and tall, figuring out how I'm going to place my leg, making sure my hips aren't sinking in when I'm actually starting the movement, straight across through here. And of course, not shrugging into my neck either. So when you do the other side, that's going to be your 4th exercise, and that'll complete a whole 16 minutes worth. But like I said, you can add a minute in between those to give yourself a little bit of a rest. Okay, moving on. We did say chest today. So we're going to start with 5 by 8, 5 sets, 8 reps for dumbbell chest press. Okay, coming up. Making sure I'm getting my shoulders set. All right, so I'm actively pulling my traps down to lock them in, okay? I'm gonna try to imitate where my arms would be on a barbell or where they would be in a chest press. So not so flared out up here, not all the way tucked in, right? Kind of at the middle a little bit. All right, again, I'm not shrugging or rolling my shoulders forward when I come down, right? Constantly pulling that down, right? Got a little arch in my back, my core is still tight. And I'm using my feet to be grounded into the floor so I can drive through the ground, I can squeeze my legs, tighten my glutes. All right, we're gonna get out. Nice big kick up, or if I need to, I can dump the dumbbells before I sit up. Just be clear, no one's around you. All right, you're gonna be supersetting your dumbbell chest press with banded chest flies. So I can use the Smith machine, I can grab another machine, something where I can band it pretty much as evenly as I can, right? The height that I'm looking for with this one is going to be a normal range of motion where a dumbbell chest fly would be, okay? So if I'm gonna set it up where one foot's gonna be in front of the other, I want it at least the height of like the top of my chest, maybe through here. So not higher than that for this one, okay? I'm starting with the red bands. Obviously, the thicker the band, the more difficult it's gonna be, or the farther out these attachments are, it's gonna pull the band tighter. That's gonna make it heavier as well. Stepping out, right? Of course, if I need to start all the way from up here, I don't want to pull back from here. That's a lot on the shoulder. So I'm going to get it together, right? And then start from there. So I can like move forward with it and start from there. My shoulder's in a good position to start. So I'm going to start with a nice big hug. Let me back up a little bit. And I'm keeping that same range no matter where I'm at in the movement. Meaning I don't want to like sink it down. I'm not trying to bring it up for this one. I'm focusing on keeping it aligned as I go through. Again, if I want to make it a little bit more difficult, I can come forward a little bit more, right? Maybe my shoulder doesn't like this range of motion. I don't quite have that. I can adjust around a little bit more with that as well. Okay, as always, we're thinking about not shrugging, using our upper traps, or arching our back in order to finish the movement, right? We're still keeping this nice and stable, controlling what we're doing up through here. This is also going to be 5 sets of 8 reps. All right, your next grouping of exercises is going to be dips, okay? So we've got our standalone dip machine through here. We can assist it if we need to with bands to make us lighter, all right? Or we could take the bands off and then we can do them as body weight. This is 5 sets of 8 reps, so you're trying to find a resistance or a range where that's gonna be difficult, okay? So I've got this set up roughly where I want it. I'm gonna move that forward a little bit more. All right, gonna get my knees in here, or if I want to stand on it, I can, right? This is how you'll assist it somehow. All right, the range of motion we're looking for is almost kind of like a squat, a little bit below parallel, right back up. All right, I'm focusing on making sure, right, I'm not shrugging and squeezing up in here, right? My body weight's not sinking into my neck. All right, I can still go shoulders back and down. They will roll forward a little bit in this movement. We're not gonna roll forward and be up through here, okay? So you can lean with it a little bit to kind of figure that out. If being too upright is making you shrug too much, right? So you're pulling your traps down to maintain that stability with your dips. If this is not an option, don't forget we have our seated dip machine over there that you can use as well. All right, you're gonna be supersetting your dips with overhead banded tricep extension. So I chose to band it right through here. You can band it onto the machine. You can loop it and band it, how I did with the chest flies earlier. Just make sure that the direction you're pulling on it is not gonna go anywhere, right? I wouldn't wanna pull it in that direction because that would most likely come off, right? So pay attention to what you're doing. There's a bunch of different ways you can grab this. I'm just gonna grab both handles or both bands on each side. If I grab lower, obviously that would be heavier. If I grabbed higher, that would make it lighter. And of course you can change out your band. All right, so we've done multiple versions of tricep extensions, whether with a dumbbell or a kettlebell, all right, or a cable. So it's the same thing. I want to make sure this part of my arm is not moving. It's staying stationary. I want to hug my head with my elbows. All right, I don't want to flare them out. I want to pull them in through here. I want to make sure I'm not moving this around either. Getting a full lockout at the top without shrugging into my neck. And this is also 5 sets of 8 reps.